A no commentary version of this run can be found in the pinned comment in the comments section below. This video is intended as a game walkthrough. It is not a speedrun. All strategies in this video were made for efficiency and success rate. Please watch the entire video and listen carefully to the commentary before trying any of these strategies for yourself. Hello everyone, this is a kill-all, no-damage playthrough of Resident Evil Director's Cut on Arranged difficulty. We're playing as Jill.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we're searching for the helicopter of our compatriots Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of our mission.
You haven't found it?
No, I haven't found it yet. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. Bravo Team went to the hideout of the group and disappeared.
Look, Chris!
It was Bravo Team's helicopter. Nobody was in it. But strangely, most of the equipment was still there. However, we soon discovered why.
Hey! Come here!
No! Don't go! Jill, run for that house!
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker. Resident Evil.
What is this?
Wow, what a mansion!
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
But Chris is...
What is it?
Maybe it's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay, let me handle this. Stay alert!
A dining room. What? What is this?
What is it?
Blood. Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Hope this is not Chris's blood.
So, arrange mode. I'll get into the differences between original and arrange mode later. To start, there's a zombie here, and this zombie actually, I'm going to go ahead and count it towards the run, because the one that Barry kills is a different zombie that pretends to be this zombie. So there we go. Then we'll pick up the 2 stacks of handgun bullets.
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this. What is it?
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature. Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
Wesker! Help me look for him, Jill. And don't leave this hall for the time being. Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me, too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room again.
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need it.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. This time I'll be there.
Right, so to start, differences between original mode and arrange mode. First up, you get new costumes for Jill and Chris in addition to the originals. And Chris and Jill wear these new costumes upon starting arrange mode. And you can also change costumes freely without requiring the special key. Enemy placements are also different. There's more enemies in some rooms, and enemy configurations that are harder to dodge. There's new camera angles, as you saw in the main hall. The Beretta is replaced with the Silver Beretta that does the same damage to zombies but has a 10% chance to decapitate. Forrest Speyer comes back from the dead as a zombie and has the armor key on his corpse. It is possible to avoid the Forrest coming back event but only if you manage to trigger Barry's appearance on the terrace as Jill. Given that we are doing a kill-all run, though, we also have to kill Forrest. Enemies also require about 1.5 times the amount of damage to kill, except for zombies. Enemies do around 2 times the damage to both characters.
Jill, what's going on? Any clues?
No, but something's wrong with this house.
Whoa! This hall is dangerous. Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Okay, let's separate again.
Just a moment. I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
Key item placement is also completely altered, changing the route through the mansion, as you can see, because we got the armor key directly from Forrest that time. And I'll go into further details later.
Richard, what happened?
Oh, Jill, this house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake, and also poisonous. Ugh.
Poisonous? Oh no. Richard, hold on.
There is serum. Oh no, I should have brought some with me.
No problem. I'll go and get it.
Thanks.
Killing every enemy in the game doesn't really do anything for you. I just did it for the fuck of it, really. Also, shoutouts to my patrons who made this possible on Patreon. If you want to see more kill-all runs, definitely go check out my Patreon. Link in the description below. So because we have a limited amount of inventory space, in order to be able to do a kill-all run in a reasonable amount of time, We have to be very, very, very judicious with our item route. But I went ahead and unlocked the armor key door in the main hall. We do have to go in there later, but there's no reason to go in there yet because we don't want to pick up those items in that room yet. The first zombie I had to aim down and shoot with the Beretta, and then the second zombie I just knifed because I could actually get behind that one. The first zombie you couldn't get behind. As for these dogs, just going to move up, aim down basically every time we shoot. If you happen to get a dog up against the wall and it still has HP, you could switch to the knife and just start slashing downward and eventually you'll kill it. But basically once you got a dog on the ground, you can just keep stun looping it repeatedly until it dies. In this room there's 3 dogs. We only have to deal with them one at a time, and they all come out at certain camera angles. Second one jumps over, aim down. Just be popping that one 3 times. Or however many times it takes to kill. Another one's going to jump over. We just got to make sure we raise our gun as soon as we trigger this camera angle. Just basically as soon as we trigger the camera angle coming from the chemical, that's when the third dog comes up. There's a zombie in the bathroom here. Because we encountered Barry in the main hall, he's not going to save us from the Jill sandwich trap. There's also really no reason to shoot these zombies with the handgun here yet, but I did score a couple of lucky decaps. As I mentioned before, there is a 10% chance that a Beretta shot will have shot power equivalent to a Magnum, including the decapitation property. So 10% of silver Beretta shots are Magnum shots, basically. With zombies, as you can see, that zombie was faced exactly opposite, and it looked like it was invincible for a second, but basically, before a zombie gets quote-unquote knocked down the first time, it always has to turn to face you directly. And during this phase, while it has to turn and face you directly, it is completely invincible, so just be mindful of that. If you happen to see a zombie just turning really quickly like that while you're in the middle of shooting it to face your hitbox, that's what it's doing. It's just typical of RA1 zombies. Don't worry about it. Going into the item box here, put away the grenade launcher, the acid rounds, and picked up the handgun ammo in the box. But we definitely needed the broken shotgun. The broken shotgun is going to be in that save room instead. A couple of lucky decaps and the third zombie died pretty quickly. We'll go ahead and equip the shotgun. Put the broken shotgun down. In general, though, I think the best policy for dealing with zombies is to use the handgun as little as you possibly can up until you get the shotgun, and then just use the shotgun to decapitate zombies. And just try to group them together and decapitate them as much as possible. Because the handgun is better saved for dogs, and for finishing off tougher enemies like hunters and chimeras. It's also very good for dealing with birds as well. Crows. I'm actually not entirely sure why I decided to use the handgun on that zombie right there. I don't remember if there was a point in time where I was going to run out of shotgun shells or something like that. Anyway, once we open that door, a zombie's going to come through. Then we're going to go in here and pick up this lighter. We need the lighter. Actually, we don't even really... Do we even need the lighter as Jill? I'm trying to remember what for. Because Jill doesn't need the sword key. Alright, so these zombies are going to be right here, and I'm just going to move forward, turn around, and decapitate them both. Actually, we definitely need the lighter now, because once we go in here, we need to use the lighter in order to get the map to the second floor, right? There's a couple of zombies that spawn in this room later on the way out of the mansion, and I think you actually do need to trigger this cutscene in order for those zombies to spawn later. There's going to be 3 zombies in this hall over here. Gonna go ahead and solve this puzzle over here because the wooden emblem is behind the glass case. I'm actually not going downstairs. I'm not even sure why I did that. This is just kind of a waste of handgun bullets in general, isn't it? Anyway, 3 more zombies in here. In this room, if a zombie is close to the banisters, then it will vomit instead of trying to grab you. Something to keep in mind. As the dog busts through the window, run over here to this corner and start shooting. One more dog to bash out over here. Now we've completely used up the armor key. Also, the Colt Python is in here. You get the Colt Python in Mansion 1. It's not terribly useful, though. Not yet, anyhow. Also, pretty much every drawer is going to have shotgun shells or magnum rounds. So definitely want to be checking drawers. Before moving on, we're going to make a quick pit stop. The item box over here, we're going to start by putting away the Magnum because we don't actually need it. We'll put away the Beretta. I kept the handgun rounds because I wanted to start banking handgun rounds. We don't even really need the Beretta because most of the enemies that we'd be killing throughout the duration of Mansion 1 would be zombies, so it's best to use the shotgun on them anyway. Two zombies over here to start. If they happen to be at exactly the correct range, you'd be able to decapitate both of them. And then another zombie hidden around the corner on the way to the greenhouse over here. Behind the plant over here, there is one of the crests needed to be able to get out of the mansion. For this zombie, we can, you know, yeah, goes without saying. By the way, I am going to be picking up the files this playthrough. and I will pause for about, 3 seconds or so. That's enough time for you to hit pause if you want to read all these. So that's on you. Once we're done here, Richard should be dead. Basically, I just wanted to encounter Richard as early as I could. There's actually no real impact to whether Richard lives or dies early. Not like there is in the remake, anyhow. Pick up the gold emblem, use the regular emblem, take the gold emblem back into the main hall. Before heading back out into the main hall, we want to grab this blue jewel, go to the tiger statue room. From here we get the shield key, which is needed to go fight Yawn. Now we have 2 crests out of 4 that are needed to exit the mansion. You can just aim up and decapitate both of these zombies, easy peasy. Probably noticed by now that we still have the lighter here as well. Reason being, there's handgun bullets in here. And when we push the cupboard over here, there's acid rounds in here. You know, all things considered, all the handgun bullets that I wasted on zombies early on is really not that big of a deal. Because Jill has a lot of really strong guns. Well, Jill has the bazooka, which picks up the slack. So like mid-game, late game, Chris is kind of suffering a little bit. Here's how we're going to deal with Jan. What we're going to do is we are going to wait for him to hiss. And once he's finished hissing, we're going to go over this way, and we're going to pick up the one half of the moon crest. Next, we're going to sit over here by this girder over here, and we're going to watch for Jan to bunch up by the wall. You can actually shoot him through the walls. But I think in this particular segment, I might have forgotten that I was supposed to shoot him. Oh yeah, I definitely forgot. Wow. Fucking pass Carcy. We'll just pretend that don't actually have to shoot Jan there. That's a pretty bad pass Carcy moment. Especially if the goal is to quote-unquote kill all. A lot of people are probably not going to be happy about that one. Sometimes these things happen where I forget that I'm supposed to kill something. I mean, technically, Jan does run away, so it's up to you whether or not you want to count that one. Botany book over here. Talks about how to use herbs. Next, we're going to put away the lighter. Take the Beretta. Also put away those other acid rounds. Researcher's Will over here. I think it's possible to read the first half of the Researcher's Will if you come here before encountering Richard. Basically, if it's like one of the first rooms you go to after getting the armor key. I'm actually not even sure what the limit is. But it has to be one of the first rooms you go to. And then we also got to pick up the ink ribbon from the lab coat over here. Because this is a segmented run. I'm not doing a kill-all, no damage single segment. And before we leave, I almost forgot, there's 2 more zombies that need to be taken care of. I'd thought about whether or not I wanted to group these guys together, but because of the camera angle, I decided it would be too risky. There's also a green herb in the corner there. I generally don't do a very good job of noting where health items are, just simply because my goal is to teach you how to get through the rooms without taking damage so that you don't need those healing items at all. So while I understand that finding healing items would be nice, if you have eyes, you can find them yourself. Because it apparently needs to be said, no, I didn't load immediately after I saved. When I save my game, it means that I stopped playing. That's what you do when you save your game. Is you either stop playing, or you reload because you made a mistake. So begins the second segment. I like to keep the shotgun for this room. Just go up to the picture of the newborn baby and then auto-aim up in order to shoot all 3 of the crows. And the next crows will come around here, and when they land, we want to shoot them. But be mindful of the ones that don't die in one shot. I think for best results, it's best to stand in the center of the aisle and not on the corner like I did. Because if a crow lands at a weird angle, then you're probably not going to be able to hit it. Once all the crows are gone, you hit the pictures in the following order. The picture of a newborn baby, picture of an infant, picture of a lively boy, picture of a young man, picture of a tired middle-aged man, picture of a bold-looking old man. Now we got the last crust. There's 2 dogs over here this time. For some reason, there's an invisible wall that makes it so that you can't really shoot the dogs around the curved part of the passage over here. I can't really explain why it's like that. But anyhow, we'll open this. Then we'll push the stepladder over here in order to get the crank. There's no small key on top of the barrel over there, so no other items in the room. Just got to be mindful of dogs over here. We don't have the radio, so we don't get to watch the radio cutscene. I keep missing these dogs. One more dog is in the far end, but I'm not going to move out of cover to try to shoot it, because what if I move out of cover, trigger the other camera angle, and the dog is just right in front of me and bites me before I can react? But I decided to take that gamble because I heard the dog moving further and further away. If you listen closely, you can actually hear the dog getting louder or quieter depending on how far away it is. Also, the snakes spawn infinitely, so I'm not going to bother shooting those. To deal with the dogs here, we're going to go over here. Might have actually probably been just as well to run over the corner, wait for them to run around. Except maybe one or two of them would have taken a wide angle around going towards me after the wall. It would have made them difficult to manage, because being able to group the dogs together is paramount to being able to continuously stun lock them. There's 3 dogs in this passage over here. Again, it was one of those situations where I couldn't just move out of the camera angle that I was in, because what if the dog was just like right there, and that time I actually made the right call by staying put. Same deal, I can't tell where the other dog is off the screen, so gotta be careful. See? That's why I shouldn't have just gone up. I should have just waited for him to come around the corner. With dogs, you just be patient. That is the best policy with dogs, is just be patient. So push that statue. There's 2 zombies over here, both of which we can decapitate in one shot. Dogs are not rung killers as long as you're patient. There's nothing in that bathroom over there, so no reason to bother going in there. There's not even handgun bullets if you drain the tub. There is a very, very rare chance that a tentacle will come out and grab you upon pushing the statue over to the next hole over here. But yeah, in arrange mode, there's 3 holes instead of 1. So gotta watch out for that. The spiders over here, there's 2 of them. And because it's going to be a lot safer to go after them with hit scan guns, we can just run around behind this behind the pool table over here. Just bait them and just shoot them. Couldn't find the other one, so just decided to walk over there, stand behind cover, and if he was actively going for me, he would have actually zeroed in on my hitbox immediately, so keeping an object between myself and the spider was the best policy. If you destroy the spider's egg sac, leave and re-enter in order to despawn the baby spiders. The baby spiders don't really count as enemies, because they can't even really be hit by bullets. You can squash them, but they can't even really be hit by bullets. And they just despawn whenever you leave and re-enter anyhow, so it's not going to count those. Before moving on, we'll hit up the save room here. Put away the crank, take the bazooka, put away the ink ribbon, put away these explosive rounds. We don't actually need the explosive rounds. .002 key is over here. Then we're going to exit and go to room 002. These 2 zombies over here can be easily grouped together and killed in one shotgun shell. Then we'll pick up the 003 key. One more zombie in here. We can pick up these flame rounds. Flame rounds will make Plant 42 very easy. Because we got the event route with Barry in the mansion, where we encounter him in the main hall, and where he could save us during the Jill sandwich cutscene. Basically, I think the trigger is just encounter Barry in the main hall. And if you do, then he will save you from Plant 42 here. Like, he'll just burn out Plant 42's second phase. All the V-Jolt does is it eliminates one of Plant 42's phases and makes it so that Plant 42 has less tentacles. So the V-Jolt is pretty handy for that. It can take up to 6 shots to kill Plant 42 in a range mode with just regular grenade rounds.
What the hell is this?
Barry!
Jill!
You saved me!
Yeah,
That was close. Thanks, Barry.
don't mention it. What a monster. I can't believe... What the hell is this place anyway?
In arrange mode, you get the control room key for beating Plant 42. And the helmet key is in the basement. There's more shotgun shells in here. The 2 sharks in the aqua ring, well, the 3 sharks in the aqua ring can just be completely ignored. Because once we drain the water, we can just kill them easily. Once the water is drained, they all die in 1 handgun shot each. Now we can make our way back to the mansion after the Wesker cutscene. But before that, we're gonna save. Wrap up the guardhouse segment.
Wesker!
Jill, so you're safe.
That's what I was going to say. Where on earth have you been? You disappeared from the hall all of a sudden.
I'm sorry, but I have my reasons. Perhaps you guys have met them? It was all I could do to protect myself against those strange creatures.
Is that right? Anyway, it's good to see you're safe.
Jill, our first priority is to get out of here.
Yes, you're right.
Now, there are a lot of rooms in that mansion that we can't get into because they're locked up. I have been looking around for clues.
Okay, I'll go to the other house and see if I can find any clues.
Will you do that? I'm counting on you.
Yeah, Wesker, you weird as hell. Gonna put away these handgun bullets and the handgun. Get the ink ribbon. Get the 2 acid rounds. And this is the end of segment 2. While we're here, we're going to get the handgun back because there's more dogs that we have to kill. But also it's good to have the handgun to mop up hunters as well, which is a little bit less necessary when you're playing as Jill, because Jill just has an absurd amount of ammo compared to Chris in this scenario. Or on this difficulty, I should say. Once we come back here, there's 3 dogs. Actually, 2 dogs. We'll have our encounter with our first hunter, so we definitely want to equip the grenade launcher here. General rule of thumb with hunters is to hit them with an acid round, follow up with a shotgun shell, and if that doesn't kill them, then finish with a handgun bullet. That is generally the best ammo economy. It should also be noted that if you're shooting a hunter within 45 degrees of its direct front left or front right, it might actually be a little bit wider than that, maybe more like, I don't know, 55, 60 degrees. So fuck it, we'll just say like, you know, within 180 degrees of it facing the front. Then it will fall over and do a tactical roll once it gets hit. So in general, you want to try to shoot hunters from behind, if you can. Spiders over here, as you can see, as long as you stand in between the shelves, they will not be able to hit you with the venom spit. This was a very risky move, by the way. Would not recommend. It's probably better to exit and re-enter and reset. Sometimes acid rounds will kill hunters in one shot. Like with that guy over there. Just completely unaggroed. We were just able to shoot him. Kill him. Get him out of the way. Also, as mentioned earlier, you can just walk right into the... You can just walk right into the special closet over here without needing the special key. Just change costumes. There was also the additional hunter, which I neglected to mention, but I forgot that he spawns right in front. Basically, if you enter and exit and re-enter this room, then more hunters just spawn in. You can fight as many as 2 hunters at once in that winding hallway. Next, we're going to equip the grenade launcher. Walk in here. And as soon as the camera angle changes, we are going to pop off an acid round for the first hunter and wait for his buddy to round the corner. Yeah, I'd say maybe 45 degrees is probably about the angle where you can expect the hunter to just like knock over and do a tactical roll, because that hunter didn't actually do it that time upon getting hit with a grenade round. Also, if you try to pause cancel too early, by the way, you've probably seen me doing this thing called pause canceling, where if I pause and unpause between shots, it allows me to resume a neutral standing animation faster. It's a pretty common thing that I do in RE1, especially in no damage runs. This hunter over here is kind of bugged, by the way. Even though I just like walked right in front of him, you'd expect him to just move around the corner, but... Normally he gives chase there, so gotta try to get back down these stairs as quickly as possible. But once you do that, you can just be aiming up at these hunters and just shoot them as much as possible. We'll just shoot them with the handgun, and you'll have complete invincibility. It's pretty awesome. Go ahead and put away the Beretta and the bullets now. It's a bit less necessary to mop up hunters with the handgun, playing as Jill on a range mode. I probably already mentioned this, but just simply because Jill has like way too much ammo already. So on the rare occasions when you actually do have to finish off a hunter with a shotgun shell, and the shotgun shell doesn't finish off the hunter, you can finish it off with another shotgun shell. Pretty easy, consequently. Because we're playing the US version of Director's Cut, it's going to take 5 acid rounds in order to kill Jan here. He has a little bit more HP in the US version. 4 acid rounds, switch over to the shotgun, finish him off with 1 shotgun shell. Save an acid round for a hunter.
Jill, have you found anything interesting?
Yes, but I can't see very well.
How about going down to check by yourself? I have a rope here.
Oh, do you? Well, then I'll try to go down using the rope.
Wait. Yeah, Richard gave this to me. The radio is a keepsake from him.
Richard?
This is more useful to you than me. Ready to go?
Hey, what's going on?
Now I've done it. Sorry, Jill. Wait. I'll go and get another rope.
Barry? Barry?
Hey! Are you there, Jill? Grab the rope! I'm sorry, Jill.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
Sorry. I was really careless.
Are you okay, Barry? Maybe you're getting tired.
No, I'm all right. Don't worry. Jill, I found something.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
Absolutely need to wait for Barry to come back and drop another rope. Otherwise, we won't be able to fight Super Tyrant. Once we get down here, we're just going to hug the left wall and run past this guy. He'll swipe and he'll miss, and then we can do... We can just shoot him from behind. 1 acid round, in that case it took 2 shotgun shells, unfortunately. That hunter didn't knock over for some reason. I think that, you know, it might actually be RNG, like slight RNG, whether or not a hunter knocks over whenever you shoot it with a high-powered gun. But like, they knock over, they do a stupid tactical roll. And there's also some rooms where hunters can and can't jump over your shots. That's another thing that you have to worry about, which is another reason why I don't shoot hunters from the front if I can help it, is because they like to jump over. They like to just read your aim animation and, you know, jump over you when you're trying to aim. That's the thing they like to do. Those 2 zombies, we can just decapitate both of them. So this zombie over here, if you exit and re-enter this room, he will drop down to a regular amount of HP. The only difference is you just wouldn't be able to decapitate him in 1 shot, because he's immune to getting decapitated, I think. Unless he's at like 0 HP, perhaps. But before I actually knew that his HP would reset if I exited and re-entered the room, my strategy here was to take out his leg and then stab him to death. This particular zombie on a range mode would also take like 3 Cult Python shots to the face. He's just a super zombie for no reason. Probably to make this scare more impactful or something like that. Jill also has a thinner hitbox, so she can get away with hugging this wall in order to go over here and stab the zombie to death. Running under the spiders will also cause them to drop. So I did that, shot it with a acid round. I wanted to kill one hunter whenever I came in here, but the reason why I went into the F hallway and came back out was so that I could reset the position of this other spider and just repeat the process. Use an acid round, finish off with a shotgun shell. And once we did that, I was able to also repeat the other process in here and finish off this other hunter. If you press L1 repeatedly and Jill starts doing like a twitchy motion, it means that she's constantly locking onto the same enemy over and over again. And once she does that, then it's actually really easy to gauge whether or not she's going to hit an enemy off screen. So the F hallway here is actually a lot easier for Jill, consequently. By just cheesing it, kill an enemy, exit, re-enter, kill an enemy, exit, re-enter. I don't know if enemies can jump in this room or not. Either way. Equip the Colt Python. Pop once. Use the shotgun here. But if there's a room where a hunter's not going to jump, even better. I was able to pretty consistently shoot both of these hunters from off screen, which is pretty nice. Before moving on though, going to go into this room here and click off the light switch. There's some magnum rounds, shotgun shells, and the red jewel. We're about to have a crazy amount of magnum rounds in a second. Because in a range mode, instead of a Colt Python behind the tiger statue, we get 3 Colt Python bullets instead. Or 3 speed loaders for the Colt Python instead. Gonna move back down to the first floor, and then we're going to put the red jewel in the tiger statue. Get all those magnum rounds, but before we do that, we want to hit up item box really quick. Can go ahead and put away the knife. Wanted to take the explosive rounds. I guess I didn't actually need to get those magnum rounds yet. I usually like to come this way in order to kill these zombies. Two more hunters in here. We're going to wait for him to come around the corner. Sometimes hunters will die in one shot. That's what happens if you just aim directly at a hunter down a hallway. It's just going to start jumping over your shots. It's pretty dumb like that. I should have just stayed around the corner. I could have saved a shotgun shell that way. Hunters actually make kill-all runs of Resident Evil 1 extra annoying. Some magnum rounds in there, and there's going to be 3 zombies in here. The best way to deal with the crows in here is to move around the room counterclockwise to trigger them to spawn in. Then we'll exit. Re-enter, and once we re-enter, they'll just be sitting on the table over here. Bam, bam, bam. Dead. In arrange mode, you don't get to look out the window and see the heliport, though, because those crows just bash through the window. Just a jump scare subversion for people who had already played standard mode and knew you could do that. Suddenly, I don't need to look out the window anymore. Coming back through here, go ahead and put that red jewel in. And now we got, let's see here, Magnum rounds. Magnum rounds. Magnum rounds. We just have an absurd amount of Magnum rounds for the rest of the game. The second floor dining room, the hunters in here actually do not jump, so the only thing you gotta watch out for is the tactical rolls. But of course, same deal. Funny enough, if they're running for a specific amount of time, they just stop running and they walk instead. It's a little wild. We got one more set of hunters here to worry about now. Deliberating. Mashing L1. I feel like there's easier ways to deal with that room, but whatever. Did the deed. And that is every monster in Mansion 2. Now we can run in here, put away the red Doom book, and put away these explosive rounds. We got the helmet key. Of course, I almost completely forgot to go into this room. There's one more thing of magnum rounds, as well as one of the Mo discs. Which is necessary to save Chris. Get the best ending. Next move. There's a hunter over here. We're just going to spin around and spank him. Magnum round doesn't kill him, finish him off with a shotgun shell. No more dogs to deal with either. Which is good because dogs are boring enemies. There's also a courtyard map, like you need it. We've dropped the sluice gate, and now we can go to the item box, rearrange our inventory, and make another save. I like to go back to the guardhouse for this reason. Before going down into the catacombs, we're going to take the flame rounds and we're going to take the grenade rounds here. I'm gonna use the Magnum against hunters, but I also wanted to equip the flame rounds first, because using the flame rounds on Black Tiger is the best call. Best ammo economy.
Oh, Jill, what good timing. A moment ago I heard someone's voice coming from this hole. Let's go together since it's dark and we can't see very well.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, then I'm gonna cover you. Let's hurry! Hey, are you alright? I can go first if you want me to.
Okay, let's go, Barry. I'm depending on you.
You want to choose yes to both options for Barry to live.
Is that Jill?
Is that voice Enrico's?
Yeah?
You're alive!
Wait there! Are you with anybody, Jill?
What? Oh, yes.
Enrico!
So, Barry and Jill together.
Are you alright, Enrico?
The stars are doomed. Someone is a traitor. Everything was plotted from the start by Umbrella. Ha!
Enrico!
The hex crank is on Enrico's body. Because Barry is in here, the two hunters here are not going to spawn in. There's 3 hunters in here, so what we're going to do is we're going to hug the wall on the left. And we're just going to mash L1 until we get a twitch. Luckily, those hunters went down after 2 Magnum rounds. For this other hunter here, it's better to hug the right-hand wall and just wait for the hunter to stop getting hung up on the wall. Once we can get a lock on, we gotta hit confirm. Explosive rounds over here. There's going to be a lot of hunters over here in a second, but in a little while we won't have to deal with hunters anymore. I think what I did with the Chris run in general was better. Well, actually, I did that strat here too. It was just chill out in the corner, but You can also do the run behind and spank 'em strats. We have to exit and re-enter. There's one more hunter here. Probably safest here to take care of these hunters on the way back. But what I like to do is I like to just let Black Tiger take care of the web over here. You just stand in the center of the door, and between the time Black Tiger touches down that tackle thing that he does, he'll spit, so, you know, just keep dodging back and forth. And we also gotta wait for the music to end, because if we don't wait for the music to end and we don't wait for the green blood to come out, we don't wait for the egg sac to rupture, then Black Tiger will respawn. Once we re-enter, that hunter goes down, dies pretty fast. As per usual, finish off what we don't finish off with a shotgun shell. And that's it. No more hunters. Good riddance. Over here, can put away the grenade launcher and all the ammo that we picked up. We'll take the Doom Book 1, keep the crank over here. There's nothing else that we gotta kill down here, it's just puzzles from this point on. Now we're in the laboratory. Can take the Beretta. We have a lot of ammunition. I like to just do a double decap on these guys. The zombies in this area respawn 3 times. 4 zombies each, so there's like about 12 zombies you gotta kill around here. Just let them come to you, decapitate them. You know how this works. I forgot to kill that last zombie. But I also wanted to get rid of the lab key here. I guess zombies in here respawned anyway. Absolutely want the sync ribbon. Well, actually I don't really. Just kidding. Ooh. That is why you gotta be careful. I should have done a quick spot check with R1 to see where that zombie was. That would have been smart. But past Carcy is real fucking dumb sometimes. And present Carcy doesn't really do much to mitigate what past Carcy does. Login John, password Ada, second password Mole. Who is the superior Carcy, anyhow? Past Carcy or present Carcy? I just want to think that future Carcy is the most superior one. But nah, future Carcy is probably going to be just as dumb. I forgot what I actually used the knife for here. Unfortunately, I ran out of shotgun shells really fast this run. So now Past Carcy has to figure out how to get more shotgun shells. Well, there is one more box of shotgun shells in the next room over here. But we gotta have as many shotgun shells as we can manage. We have a Mo disc over here. So here's the puzzle. We're gonna push that right there, and then we'll push that over there, and then we'll push the step ladder over here, push it against the box. Push that box a little forward, and if we wedge ourselves exactly right, we can squeeze right over there. Then we can push this box up against this vent and push the step ladder over here. And then push the step ladder onto the switch and then climb up. Oh, that's what I had the knife for, was so that I could stab these guys to death. I totally forgot. Yeah, just use the Beretta to poke these guys, aggro them, get them out of the corner. And then we equip the knife. And run around. Just stab down. Keep stabbing down. I want to poke that zombie over there. Then we'll equip the combat knife. Do the same deal. Just keep stabbing down. And once that zombie gets wedged in here, he can't turn left or right. He's done. He's stuck. We got some magnum rounds here too. And one more zombie. Basically, the zombies keep repopulating the room until 12 zombies are killed, I believe is how the whole thing works. We don't actually have to come in here, but the other Mo disc is in here if we want to get the absolute best ending. There's one more box of, well, one more handgun magazine here. We go into this room over here, and there's going to be 5 zombies. All of which can be finished off quite easily. quick shotgun decapitations. So we're all out of shotgun shells. There's no more shotgun shells for the rest of the game. So gotta put that shotgun away. Take the flame rounds here. Put away the handgun, take the bazooka. We want to take the flame rounds and the explosive rounds. And then the sync ribbon over here, and then we're going to save the game again. Getting the Beretta and ammunition from the box, because we can always use a little bit of extra ammo in order to mop up last bit of enemies. Best thing to do with these mesh monkeys here is to try to bait out a forward attack while they're on the ground. And then just run behind them and spank them. But yeah, they can block shots, they can just like jump up and down, and during the whole jumping animation they have iframes. They're pretty terrible. When I was a kid, I actually didn't know that they were called chimeras. I just read the Resident Evil novel. and Wesker calls them mesh monkeys in the Resident Evil novel. There's 3 chimeras in here. Flame rounds are going to be better than Magnum rounds in general. But if a Chimera is on the ground like this, then it's always better to just go ahead and spank it with a flame round really quick. If you can bait out its really, really long, like, uppercut swing that it does when it's on the ground, you can just run right past and then just, like, spin around, shoot it. Especially if it has a chance of, like, jumping up to the ceiling. But by baiting out that swing, you actually pretty much guarantee that you can get a shot off on it before it jumps on the ceiling.
Jill? Is that you, Jill?
Oh, Chris, you're alive!
Of course. Damn it, we're in quite a predicament, Jill.
I know, Chris. Anyway, I have to open this room. It doesn't work. Well, Chris, I'll be sure to come back and help you soon. Will you wait here?
Thanks. I'll be waiting here for you.
Jill! Jill! You're here too!
Yes, you're here too?
Look, I lost my way.
Let's get going. Wesker?
You did a fine job, Barry.
Just as I thought.
I think you should stay away from Barry, Jill. I hear that his wife and 2 daughters will be in danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
You are so cruel.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything, because you'll be free from this world very soon, Jill.
Why do you have to destroy stars?
That's Umbrella's intention. This laboratory has been engaging in dangerous experiments, and recently an accident has occurred. Anyway, this disaster cannot be made public.
That's why having stars nosing about is so inconvenient. So you're a slave of Umbrella now, along with these virus monsters.
I think you misunderstand me, Jill. To me, the monsters you mention mean nothing. I'm going to burn all of them together with this entire laboratory. I must complete my mission, as ordered by Umbrella. Barry, go up on the ground and wait there.
Barry!
Barry's such a fool. He'll be under the control of Umbrella forever.
How come both Umbrella and you can intimidate him by taking his family as hostages?
Umbrella? Well, I intimidated him, but it had nothing to do with Umbrella. I just used him for my personal purposes, though both you and Barry seem to think I was following orders from Umbrella.
So you're planning something else?
If you succeeded in developing the world's most powerful biological weapon, what would you do? What if you were in charge?
You must stop this now.
You're a brave girl. But if I were you, I wouldn't give up such a big discovery. You guys are idiots. No one understands its real value.
So you're going to steal all the research?
Better yet, I'm going to show you the Tyrant.
Barry,
Sorry, Jill.
how is your family?
I was listening to what you and Wesker were talking about. I wish I realized it earlier. I thought it must have something to do with Umbrella, you know. So it's all been masterminded by him.
But it's good that you know that now. Anyway, let's get out of this house first.
Jill,
Yes, what?
do you have any idea what Wesker was going to show you at the back of this place?
Well, he was talking about the world's most powerful biological weapon, called Tyrant or something, I think.
Do you think we could see Tyrant now?
Barry, you're so optimistic.
It would look bad for stars if we let such a dangerous creature run loose.
Maybe you're right. Let's go then. Can a creature like this really be the ultimate biological weapon?
Really? Wesker is a crazy man.
Tyrant is not completely developed.
But we can't let it live. That must be the computer for monitoring this creature. Damn you!
It can't control what it does.
So for Tyrant, because Tyrant is just really easy to kill, we're just going to use the handgun. And he got stuck behind Barry. That's the kind of easy that we can come to expect from this boss. I mean, it's Tyrant. Who cares? You guys have seen me kill it like a million times up to this point.
You're alive!
I'm really embarrassed. I was clumsy.
Let's get going.
You guys know exactly how that fight goes.
What happened to Wesker?
The triggering system has now been activated. All researchers and
Wesker must have set it off.
immediately.
There's not much time left for us.
The triggering system has now been activated. All researchers and guards should take cover immediately.
So to answer the question of what happened to Wesker, why don't we go find out? One flame round. What a miserable death. Triggering system authorization admitted. Unlock all blocks. Triggering system deactivation impossible. Definitely gonna save now. Man, look at all that ammo I have. If y'all were ever worried about how much ammo you need to kill every enemy in the game, well, there's your answer. For this last segment, we only have a few zombies that we can just one-shot, and 3 more chimeras to take care of. In arrange mode, the chimera are able to run around on the ceiling in this hallway. They weren't able to do that in original mode. Of course, the same strats apply. The best thing to do is, if they're on the ground, try to bait out the attack, run behind them, and just spank them with a flame round. Had to do a quick check to see if there was a 4th, because I hadn't actually practiced this segment. I just knew which rooms had enemies, not how many enemies were in each room. And I mean, look at me. I have so much ammo.
The triggering system has now been activated. All researchers and guards should take cover immediately.
Not really much to say there.
Oh, Jill!
Sorry for keeping you waiting.
So everything is done?
Well, almost, yes. Now let's go.
The triggering system has now been activated. All researchers and guards should take cover immediately. Unlock all rooms for evacuation.
Let's go!
The triggering system has now been activated. All researchers and guards should take cover immediately. Unlock all rooms for evacuation. The triggering system has now been activated. All researchers and guards should take cover immediately. Unlock all rooms for evacuation.
Let's go!
The triggering system has now been activated. All researchers and guards should take cover immediately. Unlock all
Hurry!
rooms for evacuation. The triggering system has now been activated. All
This is Brad. Running out of fuel. If there is anyone alive, contact me now, okay? This is
The triggering system has now been activated. All researchers and guards should take cover.
There is 3 minutes until explosion.
Oh no, you must be kidding. After you've come all the way here.
Ladies first. Go first, Jill.
But Chris,
Give me a chance to play nice guy.
okay, I leave it up to you. See you again at the heliport.
The triggering system has now been activated. All
So as per usual with Tyrant, we can just move counterclockwise, pause cancel whenever we see him running. Got plenty of ammo to deplete whatever HP pool is necessary in order to get Brad to drop the rocket launcher. Brad drops the rocket launcher when the Tyrant is under a specific amount of HP, and if the Tyrant is out of the center of the heliport.
It's coming! Jill!
make a little bit more distance before popping that rocket. And the end. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this run, there are other runs like it on my YouTube channel. I do some kill-all runs, I might do some knife-only runs, I'll do no damage runs, speed runs. Of this and other video games that are not Resident Evil, I've been working pretty hard to try to branch out of Resident Evil in general. The only thing is, there's just so many Resident Evil games. Hence why a pretty significant portion of my channel happens to be Resident Evil. So, coming months, thinking I might try to do some Evil Within and some Dead Space leading up to the release of RE4 Remake. So, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to watch me work on this stuff live, you can do so on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Carcinogensda. Try to stream there as often as I can. Also join the Discord server at discord.gg/Carcinogensda. Questions, comments, complaints about me being too damn sexy. You know how it goes. If you would like to monetarily support my bad challenge run habit, you may do so on my Patreon at patreon.com/Carcinogensda. Links to all of these are in the description below. This kill all run was completed as a Patreon bonus, as a Patreon stretch goal. The next stretch goal at the time of this recording is Resident Evil 2 Leon A on PS1. Kill all, no damage. I think I might even end up doing that one no save because the mechanics are a lot more favorable for that. And I set the goal for that at $750, so even something as small as a singular dollar per month helps to support the channel, goes to pay my YouTube manager to be able to free up more time for me to do more runs. So, your support there is appreciated. Eventually I will try to set up a kind of voting system there so that viewers can, rather patrons, can vote on what game I will do a no damage run of next at some point. More details to come. Probably might make a dedicated video for that. But a huge shout out to all the patrons who I put up at the start of the video. Thank you all for your generosity and your support in making this video happen. that's pretty much it. I will see you guys next video. Thank you for watching. And you all enjoy your day. Rocket launcher unlocks if the game is cleared under 2.5 hours. Thank you for watching. See you next video. Bye for now.